we'll be giving away this fire breathing racket. Shout out to OGKils for letting me do that. Keep watching the video to figure out how. But yeah, this is the OGKils fire breathing for you G6. This is the first of the non-LD, so the breathing series lineup. And as I've talked about earlier in the 1000Z review, the LD lineup is kind of like their copies of Yonex rackets, and then their breathing series rackets are going to be original designs. That being said, a few of them do still draw heavy inspiration from certain rackets. This one, like, you know, if you look online, some people say this is based off of like the Victor Ryoga 1. I don't think so. I think this is more based off of the original 88D. The thumb cap is the same, the bottom half is the same, the head shape is the same, it kind of plays the same. So I am going to say, in my own headcanon, this is based off of the original 88D. So remember, again, OGKils is priced pretty competitively. I think this was around 3,500 US dollars, or sorry, pesos, which includes shipping from China to here, so that's around $60-$70. And yeah, let's talk about it. So, like the name would suggest, and like its relationship to the 88D, this is going to be a head-heavy racket, pretty stiff, but not as stiff as the original 88D shaft. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You're not going to get, you know, NAMD, you're not going to get special, you know, rotational generation system, none of that. You're getting basically a head-heavy racket with a stiff shaft, some decent carbon in here. It says Toreca M30 plus M46J, so not bad. But outside of that, you can't really tell much. A fully recessed frame, and then like a first gen boost cap, or sorry, yeah, thumb cap on here. So let's talk about how it plays. So obviously in the back, you're gonna get pretty decent power. For me, I never really did mesh well with the 88D lineup. When I was comparing this and the water breathing back and forth, like I was getting personally better power out of the water breathing. That might be a skill issue, that might be a physical issue, because this is quite stiffer, this is a bit heavier. But even like when I was training actively, I never really meshed well with super heavy rackets, right? So while the power is good, and some of y'all can probably get more power out of me than, more power out of it than I can, for me it was not a energy efficient experience. And drives, again, are going to be quite heavy, obviously. And in general, this review is going to play out as pretty much like, this is going to play as a very typical like head-heavy racket. All of the characteristics you think come with a head-heavy racket, this has. So it's going to be good in the back, it's going to have heavy drives, it's going to suffer a bit in the front and in the midcourt. And I'll kind of talk about that a little bit more. So again, in the midcourt, you know, placement is fine. Anything when the racket is above the net, this will excel in. The struggles when the shuttle is around the net, and this is, for me, quite difficult. Not the most difficult racket I've used, but quite difficult when the shuttle was below the net, aka defense, right? For me, even though it is head heavy, the stiff shaft does help it a little bit when it comes to, you know, fast defense. Like, for example, the Apex Ziegler was head heavier than this, but much more flexy in the shaft, so it was so hard to whip defense. With that, this is a little bit easier, but still, again, quite difficult coming from, you know, someone that prefers and uses, like, you know, the 1000Z or other even balanced rackets, right? So that's that in the midcourt. In the front court, was not happy using this at all. I felt I could not get the finger power I was used to getting. My interceptions were definitely lacking. The speed was definitely not there. There was lots of net kills that I missed because of mistiming, even though like it was, you know, perfectly set up for me. So definitely wasn't having fun there. So given that this does play like, you know, what a typical head heavy racket is supposed to play like, would I recommend this? And I think for me this is the first no from OGKils. And the reason being is because yes, it does play like a typical head heavy racket, but there are much better rackets on the market at or around this price. So for example, the aforementioned Ziegler is going to be much more user friendly, much easier to access power out of. It is going to be slower in the flat and in the front game, so bear that in mind. Or you could have something like, say, the Fintala Pro from Apex as well, which is like a little bit more expensive, but I think overall a much better high-end budget racket, right? Then you have the Assailant Pro, which is going to be a little bit less head heavy than this, a little bit more forgiving in the shaft, but going to be much faster, playing more like an 88D Pro second gen, right? Second gen, or like 100ZC almost, right? Then you have things like, you know, the Gallant Tour, right? The Gallant Tour for me, even though this is 3U and this is 4U, I felt much better and much more comfortable handling this, and even the mid court and even the front court than I did with this. I don't know why, because this is, you know, again, also head heavy and stiff, and 3U, so it is actually heavier, but I just did not mesh well with this racket at all. And I think, you know, even though it is quite cheap, there are better options in the head heavy space, I think. So unfortunately for me, this is a pass. So yeah, you guys might like it, but for me, I think, you know, there are much better options on the OGKil lineup, and you know, there are still many rackets I still have yet to review, like the LD100, the LD800, the Thunder Breathing, the Love Breathing, and all that. So let's talk about how you can win this by participating in the giveaway. So the giveaway is simple. Obviously follow me on here, Instagram and Facebook. Comment, you know, tag 3 people, like, share, save, repost. All of it will be tracked using the link in my bio. So basically just go to the link in my bio and you will see all that you need to do to gain entries in order to win this. Again, this is for the Philippines only. Anywhere in the Philippines is fine. We'll ship it to you. It's fine. But this is only for the Philippines. So yeah, best of luck. If you have any questions about the racket, just feel free to comment down below. I'll make sure to get to them. Again, thank you OGKils for letting me give this away. Up next, in the next review, will be the water breathing. And we also have the LD800 on the way as well. And the thunder breathing, I think. But yeah, thanks again for watching. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.